What is happening right now, obviously, is that Trump is more unpopular maybe than ever. Certainly he's more unpopular than at any other time in this second term. His favorability is in the toilet. His approval is in the toilet. Specifically, his approval on immigration and the economy is very bad. For the first time in years, voters actually favor Democrats on the economy over Republicans. People blame Trump for the state of the economy more than they blame Biden. Any way that you cut it, Trump is in real trouble with these numbers. Numbers polling his own base, polling Republicans, independents. Any way you cut it, it is catastrophically bad. And he has only himself to blame. We're cutting Medicaid to pay for corporate tax cuts. Doge was a total failure. We're bombing Iran. Prices have not gone down, and the economy has not recovered. The tariffs have been a complete disaster. There are mounting signs all over the economy. We're in a real estate bubble. Consumer spending is slowing. The job market is frozen. They're not even releasing the jobs report in October. On top of all that, they didn't even release the Epstein files. So it is a total disaster. That is why he's unpopular, and it's self-inflicted. It is because rather than keep his promises, all that this administration has done is enrich the people that are in it. There is rampant, basically criminal levels of corruption in this government. The very people that Trump brought in to drain the swamp, they're looting D.C. They're taking everything that isn't nailed down practically. They're stealing. They are corrupt. That is all these people. You know, why do you think they brought these people in? Someone like Howard Lutnick and David Sachs, and, you know, these people, they are criminals. So this is, and it's important to understand this, contrary to what the true believers, the plan trusters say, this is not actually the result of a political system that is so difficult to overcome that, you know, they can't do it in a matter of 5 years. No, they're not even trying. It is actually for a lack of trying that it is this way. They're not trying. It's a joke. Kristi Noem is a joke. Kash Patel is a joke. Pete Hegseth is a joke. People allegedly are in there blackmailing him. It's like every person in this cabinet is a complete disaster. And the reason it's like this is because it's all patronage. Trump got in office to stay out of jail. He had to cut deals to get money. And now that he's in, he had to reward the donors by allowing them to pick the cabinet members, reward other people in the party with these patronage posts. And now this is what we're getting.
And this is why people are so mad, and this makes it such a shame, because Donald Trump, we voted for him. Like, he should help us, he should listen to the average Americans, because so many people voted for him, trusted him, and he betrayed all of us. Why is he listening to his biggest donors? I know the answer, of course, because Donald Trump doesn't care about you and me. He only cares about money, his friends, his family, and his biggest donors. But this is actually such a shame, because he was already super loaded, and he even got more loaded while he was president. Now, I believe he even made billions from like this scam crypto coin and things like this. It's actually insane. But the way that he betrayed us, that people are so mad now, that people, they even regret voting for him. He is responsible himself for this. We cannot blame Democrats. We are not allowed to like blame anyone else than Donald Trump himself. And it's such a shame. And yes, I don't like Donald Trump anymore at this point. He betrayed all of us. And you should ask yourself why you still support him. Because I can see there are still many people who support him no matter what. And you should ask yourself why.
So this is an utter and complete catastrophe. There's no deportations. We hit the H-1B cap. We're in a war with Iran. We're going to go back very soon. It's just like one cataclysm after the next. Here's the playbook. It is in this context where Trump posts something like this. Poll numbers down, favorability down the tubes, economy sucks. All these wars are breaking out all over again. Everybody's deeply unhappy. What do? Let it rip with the racism. Let it rip with the let it rip with nativism. I know what'll get those stupid idiots back on my side. I'm going to do a racist rant. I'm going to go on Twitter and True Social, and I'm going to let it rip. And I'm going to be obnoxious and belligerent and politically incorrect and brash and controversial. And I'm going to say something so shocking, so edgy, so ridiculous that everyone is going to be talking about this and not that. Everyone's going to be talking about how I called Tim Walzer. Everyone's going to be talking about how I said this about Ilhan Omar. I'm going to pack 15 pounds of shit in a 10-pound bag of controversy and rage bait and clip farming so that nobody's going to pay attention to the fact that we didn't even release the October jobs report because it was so bad. No one's paying attention to a war in Venezuela that nobody wants. No one's paying attention to Black Friday consumer trends being a disaster, the job market failing. No one pay any attention to the complete and utter disaster. Republicans might lose their majority in the House before the midterms because so many people are jumping ship. But don't look at that. Look at my racist rant. Look at my stupid little rant on True Social that I'm not actually going to do shit about. I'm not going to follow through on any of it. That's the best part. It's not, I'm going to satisfy my base responding to their needs and demands. No, I am going to pander to my base as though I give a shit about what they want, to distract them from how I'm betraying them in every other way, including the ways in which I'm pandering to them about.
Yes, of course, and this is also how he won the elections. He did exactly the same. He told us, or he promised us so many things so people should vote for him, and then at the end, when he gets the power, he doesn't deliver. He just doesn't deliver. He tricked us, he betrayed us, but as well, I have to give this little side note. I'm so done as well with complaining now the whole time. We know that Donald Trump and the Trump-Stein administration betrayed us, but how are we actually gonna change it? Because with complaining, we will never solve the problems in this country, and I believe we have a lot of problems what we should solve here. So maybe America should like do something together. Maybe we should solve the problems because we can't trust or rely on the politics anymore. It's always the same, I feel like. So maybe we, just the average citizens, the average Americans, they should like bundle their strength and maybe we can solve some problems ourselves. Like, I'm just thinking out loud, correct me if I'm wrong, but we cannot trust or we cannot rely on these politicians anymore because they don't care about you and me. They send billions of taxpayers' money to foreign countries to support foreign wars and foreign conflicts, but they can't even help the average Americans. It's such a shame, and I think we people, maybe we should do it ourselves then. Maybe we should make the United States great again because Donald Trump cannot do this.
That's what this is. That's what this always is. I'll give you examples. In the 2018 midterms, after Trump was elected in 2016, it was clear that we were headed for a blue wave. There were already very bad signs. We lost the Senate special election in Alabama. We lost another special election in suburban Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. There were a lot of warning signs that 2018 was going to be a bloodbath. And by 2018, they did the same thing, which is instead of giving money for a border wall and fixing immigration, they did a corporate tax cut. They did the same thing. They squandered their budget measure on trying to repeal Obamacare and failing. And then they squandered the second one on the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which is the corporate tax cut. There was no border wall. There was no immigration reform. And so what did Trump do to get Republicans to turn out in the 2018 midterms? He deployed the National Guard to the border. And he went to rallies and said, we're going to call ourselves nationalists again. We're going to use that word again. The midterms came and went. Republicans got destroyed. And what happened? Trump pulled the National Guard back from the border almost immediately. And we never heard him say the word nationalist ever again. They do this every time. Trump knows his base. He knows his people. He knows what they want. He knows what they want to hear, and he always has. And what does it tell you that he can flip a switch like this? For the past year and a half, you know what we heard about immigration? We heard we need the people. Americans have no talent. We need Indians. We're going to staple green cards to diplomas. We need the farm workers. We need the hospitality workers. The radical right won't like this, but they'll understand. We're not going to deport people at Home Depot or meatpacking plants. He's been saying that for a year and a half. What does it tell you? Now that his poll numbers are in the tubes, he could write something like this. Like he flipped a switch. Last week, he goes in an interview and says, Americans have no talent. You think we could pull somebody out of an unemployment line and have them build a Hyundai? You can't. Who's going to build our missiles for us? Americans don't have the talent. We need the immigrants. And then 1 week later, he lets something like that rip where he goes, immigrants are coming here. We have the biggest foreign-born population. They're wrecking society, and no one wants to say anything because they feel guilty. We got to get them out. What does it tell you if he could flip a switch? It means that he knows. He knows. He knows what you want. He knows what you're asking for. He knows what you expect him to deliver. But he refuses to give it to you. Why? Because he knows he doesn't need to. He only brings that out in an emergency. If he can get you to vote without doing those things, he won't do it. If he doesn't think he needs to pander to you, he won't. He will pander to the billionaires because he needs their money. But when he's losing support catastrophically, he knows just which buttons to press, just which levers to pull, just the right words to say. I mean, if you read that post like I just did, you must be thinking, this is amazing. This is awesome. Where's this guy? That guy doesn't exist. It's an act. It's an appeal.
Exactly, and this is a very good point Nick makes here, because in my opinion, Donald Trump is like the biggest demagogue of the United States. He just says whatever the people want to hear, and he doesn't care about you and me. He only says these things to like help himself, because once he has the power, he can help himself, his family, the biggest donors, so he needs us to get the power, but once he has the power, he doesn't care about you and me anymore. Like this is also how he won the elections, but the same as he said that he would build a wall, he would lower the prices, he would stop all the wars. He would not like start any new wars. Dude, there's no wall still. Like the prices are crazy insane now. They're super high. We almost have a war with Venezuela at this point. The Ukraine-Russia war, it's like still going on. So you didn't solve anything there. And even you didn't even release the Epstein files. You even denied that there were any Epstein files. But that's another discussion. The point I try to make, it's so true that Donald Trump, I believe me, he only cares about himself, his family, his friends. He doesn't care about you and me. And this is actually so sad because he said that he did. He said that he was different than all those other politicians, but it turns out he's exactly the same as them. Maybe he is even worse, and I'm so tired of this. At this point, I don't want this MAGA, Make America Great Again movement anymore. I don't want America first. No, do you know what I want at this point? Americans first. Americans first. Let me repeat this. This is very important because there's so many people in this country who are actually struggling. They can barely survive at this point. It's very hard to see. We should put those people first instead of all these foreign conflicts, these foreign wars, all these other things, what's going on around the world. I don't care about it. I want my tax money to be spent on the United States and on the citizens of the United States. Americans first.
People say, are we going to get the 2016 Trump back? Oh, I think this is 2016 Trump. 2016 Trump is a marketing strategy. It's like the fucking green M&M. Okay, it is like the Geico Gecko. It is a marketing gimmick. It is like when McDonald's plays Monopoly. It's a marketing gimmick to get you through the door to buy the product. And people go, where was this Trump? That Trump never existed. That is a face that Trump puts on when he desperately needs people to stick with him. And as soon as he gets you back, he takes it off and goes back to taking care of business. That's what happens. And what is that? What else does that tell us? I see people on Twitter and I see people on YouTube and they say, we need to get on Twitter and we need to tell the president that we don't support this, that, or the other thing. And it presumes that he doesn't know. Whenever I go on Alex Jones, he tells me, we need to tell the president we don't want a war with Iran. Tell the president? What are you talking about? We're talk show hosts. What do you mean we need to tell the president? Doesn't he have millions of dollars in contracts to the best consultants and pollsters. They know what the people want. They know what the people want and what they're asking for and what they expect. They know exactly what they want. And this is the proof. Because when push comes to shove, they know how to give the people what they want. They just choose not to every other time. It's not for lack of being reminded. It's not because Lomez and John Doyle didn't run it up the flagpole on Twitter. It's not because Mike Cernovich tweeted, "Hey, Trump, I really think this war with Iran is a bad idea." No, they know exactly what the people want. They just don't give it to them unless it is absolutely necessary. Then they will signal that they're prepared to give them what they want. And then they never do. That's what this is. And once you understand that, you understand the game that we've been playing for the past 10 years. It's no different than when at the convention last year, they held up signs saying mass deportations. You see any mass deportations? They're not happening. I saw somebody say, I think it was Daryl Cooper, who I like, but he said, you can't judge Trump unless you give him at least 12 to 24 months first. 12 to 24 months. We got to wait until 2027 before we can judge what he did in 25? The next primary for the next election is going to have started already. We can't judge until 2 years in. What are you talking about?
And this is also a very important point, because sometimes, or I read your comments, of course, and then I see some comments, but you have to give Trump some time. Dude, he is almost in for a year now. What did he actually change? Like, again, let me ask you this question. What did he actually do for you in the past year? Not much, right? I feel like we have almost more problems now than the moment when he started. So this is a very good point. You cannot use the excuse any longer, oh, but Donald Trump, he needs some time. Give him some more time. Bro, if he cannot even, like, solve the problems in our country, if he cannot even do something in the past year, so what will he do in the next year then? Like long story short, excuse me, but this is kind of crazy, right? So many people there are constantly defending Trump, no matter what he does. Even if he starts a new war with Venezuela, people will still support him. Even if he does something completely else, even if he is in the Epstein files, people will still support him. I don't understand why you still have so many people who actually support Donald Trump. And don't get me wrong, I said this multiple times, I like Trump in the beginning as well. I'm not a Trump hater or something, but at some point, like, I cannot defend this guy any longer. He just betrayed us, he tricked us, and it just turns out that he's exactly the same as all these other politicians. He is not a difference. He said that he acted like he was different than them, but he's exactly the same, maybe even worse. And, like, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel there are so many people in this country who feel betrayed by Donald Trump, by the Trumpstein movement, the Trumpstein administration. They just said that they were America first and Americans first, but his actions just show that he is not. He is not. And this is so sad, because I trusted him as well. I had so much hope that he would actually solve the problems in our country, that he would actually help this country. But it turns out he just lied. He is just a liar.
This is the game that they play, which is that every election, on an off year, on a major election year, or whenever their poll numbers tank, they will tell you what you want to hear. And they know how to do it. They're very good at it. They're not ignorant. They know exactly what to say. And they get you to buy in. That's the critical word that people don't seem to understand. They want you to buy in. They want you to believe. They want you to have faith. They want you to stand there patiently waiting for your reform with your hands on your hips saying, all right, come on now, Trump. Where's the 2016 Trump? They want you doing apologia for the administration, making excuses, negotiating with yourself. Well, they're waiting for the money to hit from the big, beautiful bill. Well, they just need more time. They need to spin up ICE. It's going to take more time. They want you to do this so that they can screw you more. And then the next time you're mad, they're going to feed you another line like this. And they have done this for 10 years. They will do it for the next 10 years. And they'll do it for 10 years after that, because that is what they do. That is what politicians do. The only reason that Trump was ever attractive is because his appeal is that he was not a politician. Starting to get it? What was attractive about Trump in 2015 is he said, it doesn't work like that with me. I'm not a politician. What you see is what you're going to get. What I'm saying is what I will deliver. I'll deliver real, tangible victories, not political PR victories. And I could do that because I'm not corrupt. But that was a line. And we learned that very quickly in the first term, that he was not who he said he was. When he hired Steve Mnuchin and John Bolton and the Swamp Creatures, we knew then that he lied. He was a politician. Saying I'm not a politician was just the latest innovation of the supreme politician, Donald Trump. And he got in, and we learned that the hard way. And so when we came out the second time, or the third time in 2024, there should have been an expectation like, you need to demonstrate that it will be different. But people just rushed back in. And they said, oh no, I assume it will be different. The rhetoric wasn't like this in the campaign. The rhetoric was terrible. The rallies were terrible. The pledges, the campaign platform was terrible, but people said, we'll sort that out later. Well, now here we are. It's terrible. And what does Trump do? He's going to keep pressing that button, the only one he knows how to press, which is he gets in hot water, gets in trouble. He's going to roll out. He's going to dust off and then roll out the same old playbook. I'm in trouble. Let's do more racism. And you people need to understand this, you white people. I know you white people are angry. I'm angry too. I know you poor people are angry. You know, we're all angry. The country is going away. There's no deficit of anger.
Bro, this was kind of weird because believe me, it's not only white people who are mad at this point, like almost every American. So it's kind of weird that Nick is just saying that only white people are mad. I disagree with him on this because there's like almost every American. It's not that only white people vote Republican. Come on. But like, long story short, so many Americans at this point are just like super mad. They're furious. They feel betrayed by our own government. And you should ask yourself why. Because we almost have all the right to do this, right? To feel like this, excuse me. Because the government betrayed us, in my opinion. They literally betrayed us. Like I said, I can say this multiple times, but what did Donald Trump actually do for you? Everything what he promises, he didn't do anything of this. Like he promises so many things and he didn't deliver. He just didn't deliver. And this is why, and then he is surprised that we're gonna lose the midterms now, big time. Because believe me, we will lose the midterms big time. And it hurt to say that because you know, I'm not a Democrat, you guys know this. But still, I'm also not a hypocrite. We can't blame the Democrats for this. We are fully responsible for this ourselves. Or not even us, the Trump administration. Donald Trump is fully responsible for this. No one else. We cannot blame other people. It's Donald Trump who did this. He won big time. He won in a landslide. He even got a popular vote. He could change so many things in this country, but he didn't. He didn't use his power. I never understand it why he didn't use his power. This is seriously the question what I have. He had so much power, but he never used it, or he's still not using it. Why? I don't know. Maybe he is controlled. We will never find out, I guess. But Donald Trump, what a joke, bro. What a joke, man.
But demonstrating anger does nothing. What does something is actually getting involved in the political system and making change. And it is so easy for people that are angry and sentimental and caught up in their emotions to get wrapped up in statements like this. They're waiting for somebody to affirm or acknowledge their grievances. This is grievance politics. This is white grievance politics. And it is being weaponized against white people, just as black racial politics was weaponized against the black people. We called them race hustlers. Donald Trump is like the first white race hustler because he is hustling us as a group. He is hustling white people. He is feigning concern for our ethnic interests without delivering. He barely sees himself as white. They call him a Mark Levin says you're the first Jewish president. You got Jewish grandkids. Trump is constantly signaling to his predominantly white base with a implicitly white cultural politics and is always stabbing the white people in the back by making appeals to them obliquely in this way. He's the first white race hustler. And it's not to say that we don't need a white identity politics, but it is to say that we need an authentic white identity politics. It isn't a scam. It isn't pandering to our basest instincts where we say, oh, yeah, fuck immigrants. I mean, on some level, yes, but let's see the policy. And this is what the Republican Party has become now. It's actually very sad. It is a handshake between the worst elements of the elites and the worst elements of the masses. The most hateful tendencies of the masses and the most cynical tendencies of the elites. Because the elites do not have this kind of hatred. They don't have this kind of antipathy for foreigners and outsiders that a lot of people among the lower classes do. And the lower classes have maybe an authenticity, a plain-spokenness that the elites don't have. But they're sort of getting together and they're embracing the worst of both worlds. We're in a race to the bottom where people like Tucker and Trump that are really not on our side. They're not against Israel. They're not pro-white. They're barely Christian. These people are getting together and appealing to superstition, talking about demons and chemtrails, appealing to racism, talking about Ilhan Omar and the Somalis and all that kind of stuff. And there's a race to be the most crass, the most controversial, the most uncivil, the most cruel, without actually delivering change and actually delivering more corruption than ever. So you're getting maximum cruelty. You're not even getting like the good faith, reasonable opposition to these things that comes from a patriotic place. You're getting the worst kind of shock politics where we're just like these and blah, blah. And, you know, you're getting that. You're getting crass, casual cruelty, meanness. You're getting people like Stephen Miller that are just saying like white boomers and third worlders, you're nothing. We're going to round you up. And so you're getting maximum cruelty and mean-spiritedness and legitimate, probably just like gross appeals to racism to pander to the masses, while also getting maximum corruption, not delivering real immigration reform, which would benefit everybody, not actually delivering real populist change in the government, but actually entrenching the richest, most powerful interest groups, AI, defense tech, Palantir, Elon Musk, like all these people, the Israel lobby. We're going into Gaza and building a smart city on a mass grave of children murdered by Israel. So you're getting the worst of all of it in the Republican Party. This is the sickness.
And what Nick just said, he made some very good points. I mean, I'm not agreeing with everything he said, but of course, like, you should do the same. You should always, like, decide this for yourself if you agree with him or not. Like, who am I to tell you this? You get the point. But what he is saying is, like, so true. But I also have to give this little side note. We should stop thinking in, like, this, like, black and white, or in this, like, Republican, Democrat. We should, like, stop divide ourselves the whole time. We should stop, like, the separation, because then we will never be a stronger country. I actually believe that we can make this country great again, and we can put Americans first the moment we start working together. So we should. I'm not like a fan of this, like putting people in boxes. Oh, you're a Republican. Oh, you're a Democrat. Oh, you're a black. You are white. I don't like this. It's just Americans now. If you are America first and Americans first, you are my ally. You are my friend. And if you just want the best for this country, then you are my friend. I have nothing more to add. But again, this is just my opinion. I'm very curious about your opinion. Like, do you agree with Nick? Do you disagree with Nick? Please share your opinion in the comments. I'm always very curious, and it's also important to say I read all comments. I even try to reply to most of the comments. So please share your opinion in the comments. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you really like this video, consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. And last but not least, guys, I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!